Okay, are we ready to fade in?
Yeah. You're I'm Tracey White.
You're drinking something.
Hey, I'm Associate Pastor Bob Nelson. A little off tonight.
I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation Podcast. Welcome.
Here you go. Expecting it to go this way.
Turn the mic on, right?
We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers. Da-da-da-da.
Oh, here, let me start the timer. Since we don't have the thing up here, so.
Well, welcome to the podcast. Glad to see you guys. We had a quorum tonight, enough to go with the podcast. It's enough. We're here.
3/5 majority.
We'll vote and say we're doing the podcast tonight.
Yep.
Well, all right. Well, glad that you are here, and so let's do some yakking. To my right, Tracey White. How are you, man?
Yakky yak.
And again with the yak.
Yeah, and again with the yak. Oh, you said yakking.
Yak early.
Well, had some heartburn last night, didn't sleep very well, and so I'm tired more than normal on a Monday, which means extremely tired because I'm always very tired. So this has pushed me over in extreme. I tried to take a little nap beforehand, and it just, I don't think it really stuck. So I'm still tired.
We're going to wrap this up early and you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just don't go to sleep until
Work
we
was
wrap
kind
up.
of just trying today, not because of anything with personnel or it's the tech, and I was trying to solve this problem all day long, and I spent 8 hours not getting anywhere on this, trying to get this thing working. So yeah, definitely, I'm gonna get in trouble for that. You spent the whole 8 hours on it? Yeah, I did. I tried just for you.
You're devoted. You're dedicated.
Buy better hardware.
Problem
It'll
solver.
work, I promise.
Well, all right, man. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway.
I'm glade you're here too.
All right. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. To my left,
I'm
Bob Nelson.
Not.
You want to take a sip before you get to speak?
Yeah.
The beautiful and talented Bob Nelson.
So
Lovely? Wait, is it
Lovely. It's always lovely.
The lovely and talented.
Fiona is always lovely. And then whoever's to my left, just by default, ends up being lovely. I'm sorry, Bob.
No, that's okay.
Welcome. How you doing, man? I already know you have some bad news about your house and stuff.
Yes. Well, it's not like unexpected news,
No.
Yeah. It's a 19-year-old furnace. It was gonna die. And fortunately, it did it today instead of
When the snow really comes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I've been
Where it's going to
It gets
be
cold.
mid-60s tomorrow, so you're right.
So and they're coming out tomorrow. It took 5 minutes to spend $4,200 basically. So yep, your motor's froze.
Ouch.
Oh.
Ouch.
I was going to say, if it was cold, y'all are always welcome to come over where it's toasty for the time being.
Camp out in the studio. Maybe?
But if you were to come over and our furnace would break, then you're never invited again.
You're the furnace breaker.
The furnace breaker.
Yes.
Bob, King Bob of the Meadows, the furnace breaker.
King Bob of the Meadows. That's about 5 podcasts back, and we're still talking about it.
Yep. So, but yeah, and then so let's see, it's kind of a unexpected thing, but the better side of it, my brother and sister-in-law both caught the COVID last week, and he's doing pretty well. He had an infusion treatment on Friday, and that's taken really well. But she ended up getting checked into the ER on Thursday, I think. Friday, they decided to intubate her because she wasn't doing well on she was like full force on the CPAP. And she was still in the 80s for her oxygen levels. So they intubated her. Today we finally got some really good news. It's actually working. They've dropped the ventilator down to 80% from 100, and she's still staying at stable levels. So
Awesome.
Yeah. That's great news.
Yeah, it is. So she's got some health concerns that I was very I'm surprised that she's getting to the point where she is. But at the same time, we're a year and a half into the pandemic, and they've gotten better at figuring out how to do things right.
Yeah.
So there's that. So a lot of prayers going there, and for other spiritual reasons too. On that, but yeah, it's just good to hear that side of things, and then and work was not as as it was last week. So
well, that's good.
Yeah,
because
it's very frustrating.
You pinged your erg meter with the furnace, I'm sure.
Exactly.
You hit the wall.
No, again, the furnace, it's not a big deal. If we sell it, it's a plus on the sell side, you know.
Yeah,
and I shouldn't say if, it'd be more of a when. So, yeah. But
I think it makes me think that our house, because our house is old. I can't remember how old that furnace is in that house. So I'm like, oh, how many years till I'm gonna have to replace that?
I think I might know a guy. So
oh, okay.
they came out. That was the other thing, after I figured it out way late in the day, they said they'd be out, between 4 and 5, and they made it at 5:15. So, and they're gonna be able to come out tomorrow to replace it. So
that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's one of those jobs I wouldn't do it yourself with because of the gas.
Right.
I know
That's scary to me.
I don't touch gas.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized my HOA, they don't need to know anything.
Nah, it's inside.
So.
You didn't say anything
Said
just
nothing.
now.
They're not gonna
Well,
watch
I'll
this.
edit that out.
Yeah. Like everything gets edited out.
I mean, honestly, Johnny, how many times have you actually edited something out?
Let's see.
No, it's-
Well, there was that
Edit in.
that time with I don't think ever.
Right.
Never. pretty sure never.
So far, there's 2
It's too
edits
much
in the
work,
last
too much extra work.
three podcasts, and I'm the victim of one of them.
That was an editing in.
Yeah,
That was an
yeah.
editing. I didn't edit it out.
Yeah.
I doubled it up.
Johnny, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine, man. Thank you for asking. Of course, we always ask. But I will tell you this. Of course, yes. Keep praying for Leona, her mom. Again, she's very, very near the end of her life, and so a lot of stuff going on related to that, and scheduling and extra things. But that aside, I will tell you guys this: if you ever watch an animated Christmas special from the 60s, 70s, the only way to do that properly is with a room full of kindergartners.
Nice.
So today, so here's the thing. I'll just tell you real fast this. With the autism class I'm in, part of the goal is to get them so that they're in the general ed population so they can function properly with everybody else. So there's some that are at that level where one adult goes with them into a gen ed class for an hour or for a special thing or something. Mm-hmm. So that ended up being me today. So I was, for 1 hour anyway, 45 minutes really, I was with this one kid making sure, he was where he was supposed to be. He was in his chair. He wasn't acting crazy or weird. I don't mean crazy. I mean just goofy crazy. Yeah. And so anyway, so all of these kindergartners, just normal old goofy kindergartners. And so the teacher decided that she would show Frosty the Snowman.
Old school Frosty?
Old school Frosty,
nice.
1968 or 69 or something. Jerry Durante, at the beginning.
Yes.
Frosty, that's my favorite line is when he goes, and there was a room full of warm and toasty poinsettias.
Poinsettias.
For Christmas. I mean, it's like this long pause. Anyway, so this thing is played for Christmas. Anyhow. So it's fun for me to just watch it, but here's the thing. Many of these kids had never even seen it. Some of them had, and you could tell that they had. Yeah. Because what would happen is, first of all, because it was being played on YouTube, in the middle of anything, it would just pop up with an ad.
Oh, yeah.
So a commercial would start, a video. And so it was really jarring. And every time that happened, all the kids in the whole room would all go, ah! And like, ah! And she was quickly waiting for the 3 seconds to skip to the next thing. Ah! Then they get quiet. Then once again, another ad would come on about 5 minutes later. Ah! And I was like, ah! Anyway, that was one thing. The other thing was, it was Frosty the Snowman, and throughout the whole thing, anytime the song, Frosty the Snowman, they would all start singing. At every point in the they would start all singing. So that was kind of fun. And then there's this little character, is the really bad magician. Boy, that was hard to say. I'm a bad speaker.
10 times real fast.
Nope. So anytime anything would happen to him, like he'd roll down the hill or something bad would happen, I mean, kids would be like, ha 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 ha.
That's awesome.
So it just kept going.
Nelson from The Simpsons.
Yeah. It was kind of like that. And then the top of the whole thing was at one point. Now Santa shows up right near the end. Well, these spoilers in case you're.
No, I'm totally wrong.
Great, now I'm not going to watch it.
This makes me think of that great Calvin and Hobbes cartoon series where he had the killer monster snow goons. We're trying to get him, and he turns to Hobbes at one point and goes, "How'd they finally kill Frosty?" So Santa shows up, and some kid in the back is like, "I love you, Santa!" So I was just cracking up the whole time, and it really added to all this. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if you ever get that opportunity, but if you do, watch it with a room full of just crazy teenagers. They're like teenagers, but kindergartners.
Kindergartners.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just speaking their minds, man, and just laughing.
The teenagers are young.
Right.
So that's how I'm doing. I'm doing.
Teenagers would be in there going,
I don't know. I've known a few that would have been really into it. They would have been more into it with the kindergartners. Would have been there with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
my gosh.
awesome.
So anyway, yeah, that's how I'm doing.
You had a good day, is what I
Good
heard.
day, yeah.
Well, that part was good.
An offsetting.
Right. I didn't get any scratches or scars.
Well, that's good.
Nobody, did their business in the room. That was good. There's no bathroom accidents or anything.
Get this. Kathy watches kids
Yeah.
in home daycare, right? And there's this one little play set that she was letting from her mom's collections of all the boxes and boxes of Christmas stuff. And but this one kid, he tends to throw things a lot, and Kathy's like, I'm not going to let you tear this thing up. And so she went online to see how much it would cost just to buy him for Christmas that Christmas set that he loves so much. They don't make it anymore. Right?
So
It's a
eBay or
collector's
whatever.
item, and it's worth over $200.
Oh, wow.
Yikes.
Wow.
I'm like, woohoo! Let's go ahead and sell it.
Sell it now. Might as well.
That was pretty wild. But the thing is, she's got that was one of, I think, 5 or 6 of these old, Christmas set in a nice box
pretty
with
cool.
a coloring book and everything.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
Make
Anyway, that was a
set
funny
that
story.
aside.
That's my funny story for the day.
So I did have a very funny story. The last call I had when we were calling to do a rollover from Fidelity, and it's a 35-year-old gal, and normally I don't work with the younger crowd, but she was really nice. Everything was going fine, and the rep on the other side goes, okay, so you understand you're rolling over your funds to another account. Is that what you want to do? And she goes, and her response was classic. It was like, I am letting the retirement Jesus take the wheel. It was the funniest thing I'd heard on the call.
Retirement Jesus.
That's
Take
pretty
the
funny.
lead.
Yep.
Never heard of
Okay.
such.
And then the Philadelphia rep said, "So are you? You're going to be out of town?" Because I mentioned we're going to be out of town. The client is too, and he's like, "So Bob, are you going to Nazareth?"
Oh. Wow.
Ba-dum, psh. You want me to get behind the drums and
seriously.
one shot? Let's not.
Speaking of, great backdrop tonight.
Yeah.
Got the drums, man.
So shiny.
Miss hearing those drums.
I miss hearing those drums. I actually thought about it today. I need to get back there and do something with them. But one of these days. Johnny, I'm having a hard time with with what went on at church
on the
yesterday.
podcast, you're having a
Yeah.
This could have happened
in my
beforehand,
brain.
afterwards. Nothing too controversial on the podcast.
Trying to pray about who's going to receive a gift,
Okay.
and good ways to. Kathy and I have been bouncing ideas off of each other and stuff like that. Oh, we could bless our trash man and postman, by giving them a Christmas card and splitting
We
that.
probably need to explain what you're talking about first of all.
No, you should have been there. Then you really would have known what I'm talking about. And
Oh my goodness.
if you weren't there and you watched yesterday's service, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But-
okay, fair enough.
The church is doing fine financially, and as a result, those of us that were there received an envelope with some money, with some very specific instructions. If it's a need for us, we get to keep it. If it's not a need for us personally, then we need to find somebody who has a need for it and give it to them in the name of Jesus.
Yes.
As a gift. And
And you're leaning now towards maybe option 3. Is that what I'm hearing here?
option 3 was brush me up on it.
Option 3 was
Yeah.
giving it back to the church so we can provide send it with our Christmas offering to the missionary.
Right. So it's not option 3. It's definitely going to be option 2, but we're wondering what that looks like. And
Who's your 2?
there's a story behind why it's not option 3, and I'll get with you on that later.
Okay. no
But
worries.
so it's like, well, whenever you think about this, and what's on my heart right now is I want to give it to somebody that does need it, and that conscious giving is fulfilling a need for it. And if we give it to those that provide services for us, like picking up our trash or delivering our mail, I don't know if they need it.
Yeah.
It's just something nice to do
Yep.
to them.
Yep.
So I'm leaning.
It added a lot of extra pressure. In this
Yeah, I
situation,
know.
didn't it?
The challenge is real.
We almost gave it to the pizza guy tonight, but they were like, "Well, no, this isn't really."
right. It's kind of it's whenever you really think about it and the trying to figure out who and the best way to bless with that. That's it's a challenge. Yeah.
I was gonna say I do love it. I love that we are wrestling with that.
I'm looking
and thinking about who can I bless with this.
Well, I mean, you talk about opportunities that present themselves, and
That's
how
true.
that's really what we should be looking for. And
Yeah.
and so I'm thinking of maybe God will answer the prayer by having something like
Give it a few days, see what happens.
Going by some beautiful gate and having a lane guy there.
That would be very awesome.
I'm gonna drive around looking for beautiful gates.
Right, I know.
And just see what happens.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
So there's no inside joke here.
It was last week.
Where this is coming from is the passages that you've been working out of is Acts, and particularly 3, the right at the beginning. And it's a beautiful story and a beautiful gate, and we talked about this last week. But Peter and John are there, and they're on their way to go pray, and there's a lame guy there, and it's the wrong way to say that, lame guy. A guy who has been lame from birth, crippled from birth, and so he's never been able to walk or anything. And his friends bring him there every day to beg at the temple. And Peter and John are passing by, and he says, "Hey, give me some money." And they turn to him, and Peter says, "Look at me." So, maybe not like that, but
That's because the way you described him going, "Hey, give me some money."
Peter says, "Look at me," and the guy looks at him. He says, "Silver and gold I don't have, but what I do have is get up in the name of Jesus and walk." And he gets up, and after, as you pointed out, he grabs him by the hand. Yeah. So
Jake pointed that out last week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was Jake. Yeah. And so anyway, that prompted, while you were preparing for yesterday's message on Saturday, you were praying through some stuff. Before you kidnapped me.
That's another story.
That's another story.
That's a funny story. Do you have a point you're going to make before you tell that story?
Oh yes, make the point.
Okay, so Johnny picks me up from the church, or picks me up from the school, and says, "We got an errand to run," and I'm like, "Okay, fine." I get in the car, and I'm like, and we're like 10 minutes into the drive, and I said, "Oh, by the way, where are we going?" Turns to me and says, "I'm taking you out to murder you," and I'm like, "Yeah, yes, it's been a really bad week. I'm ready to meet Jesus.
I'm going to murder you, Bob. That's exactly what I said. I'm going to murder you, Bob.
That's a threat.
No.
So, hostile work environment.
That's pretty funny.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. And again, I do want to say about this that it was a bit of a wrestling deal. Now, I will tell you that it seems like a very novel idea, right? A church giving, rather than receiving the offering, we're giving an offering to everyone. But I know of a number of other churches who've done the same thing. But I've always thought, I don't know. But where this came in, it just really felt like, I just really felt impressed. It was what we needed to do that Sunday, not every Sunday. Because that was the joke I was trying to make at the end. And we don't want to be like the feeding of the 5,000. Everybody's just following us around because, hey, there's a church that gives everybody money when they show up. But it was one of those things. It's like we're already using resources to do ministry with people. Right. We've already blessed a number of people through our church to that. That money that's set aside for that purpose. And so it was a thought that is, you know what, we are blessing people outside. Let's first bless the people who are a part of our church, and then, mobilize our people hands-on to do that ministry to people we don't even know about. So in a way, I felt kind of funny about it in a way, but I also thought, this is a story that could reverberate if we tell it to enough people, particularly people who don't go to church.
Right.
To just tell them, that church, all they want is money.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This Sunday is just the opposite of that. So
a lot of people don't understand that, though. They think, you go to church, they ask you for money.
Yeah.
There's operating costs, and there are monetary needs, by a church, but most of the time the church is doing things for other people.
Yeah, we do tons of stuff for free to people, right?
Absolutely.
All of our services are free. All of our ministry is free.
All, like our Glow and Go event, and the movie nights, and stuff like that.
It's from other people who give, and within our church, those who give. And we don't give out of compulsion, we're not like, I'm never heaven-handed. What am I trying to say? Heaven-handed. Heaven hands. Heavy-handed is what I'm trying to say. About those kind of things. But, that is a perception that is out there by some people. It's a wall. It's a barrier. And that Sunday was a way also. And the more I've thought about it, the more I say, I see what you're doing here, God. It kind of breaks some cynicism, because if that's you, if you're that guy who's saying, he's to buy his new jet, or he's to buy, it's for all the pastors, and they don't understand our role.
Okay. There are some
and how much
people out there like that.
There are, and they shouldn't be.
There's a certain church in Texas that a plumber was doing some work recently and found
this is all over the news.
$600,000 stashed in the wall, and I'm like, that took some planning.
Yeah, somebody did that. For sure.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we're not here to knock other churches. But I just want to say, it was great to be able to do that, even though it felt kind of funny. But I will tell you that there were at least a couple of people in the room, and one in particular, and I don't know if it's like a secret or anything, but I looked up, she had tears in her eyes, and then told us the story afterwards. She said, I was actually this morning. She goes, it's kind of funny. I like the way she said it. It's kind of funny. On my way here, I said I've had tons of guests in my house, and there've been a lot of expenses. And I looked around. I was getting kind of low, and I was going to ask somebody here, if I could borrow $100 that I could pay back.
Yeah.
And so when she opened up the envelope. And then again, we didn't say it now, but when they opened up the envelope and she saw that $100, and then I said, if you have a need, take it. It's yours. Let us bless you today. Yeah. Which was, again, my favorite part of all of that, too, is just be able to say, hey, let's meet some needs we don't even know about. And she just tears were just coming down her face. So, and then I was asking, hey, can we open any other way? Are you sure you're okay? But anyway, I think it shook everything up a little bit. It just kind of jars us a little bit, takes us out of our comfort zone a bit, especially when we realize that we're being stewards of money.
Yeah.
And there is a bigger principle at play that and at the end of the day, we really are all stewards of what God has given us.
Absolutely.
Regardless.
Including that drum set.
Including the drum set.
And that camera.
And that camera. In this place. Exactly.
And the clothes on our backs.
And the clothes on our backs. But anyhow, so... Yeah, I wish you guys could have seen the faces from where I was standing, but particularly my son.
Yeah, I saw him out of the corner of my eye. Open the envelope and go.
He almost fell out of his chair.
I missed that.
It's like, what is this? Anyway, it was fun. So anyhow, yeah, what else though about, I mean, this is what I told them. I said, no, this is all anybody's going to be talking about. They're going to remember the message so much.
No, but I mean, for me personally, just to let you know that because it's still sitting there in the envelope on my table in there, and I looked at it this morning. Yeah, it's just the day after. But it reminded me of that whole pay attention to the opportunities that God is putting in front of you to care for people.
Yes.
Be watchful of that, and so that's on my brain, and I'm like, man, I gotta, I don't know, maybe go to the store or go, I want to go somewhere to see if somebody needs something.
Well, and also think how fun that is in a way. I mean, this provides an opportunity for us to. It's like I don't have the excuse of, well, things are tight, I can't bless them. Oh, it's already been given to me. Now I've got a jump start into this experience of trying to meet a need, and I'm hoping in a lot of our hearts that it does unlock something that goes, that was kind of fun. I need to do that again. You know what I mean? It's that kind of, I need to bless somebody else.
And it goes in with your entire point about momentum. This was that push for you to get objects that might be at rest and moving.
Yeah.
Exactly. I wish I had said it that way. But I didn't. But you're right.
Next Sunday.
Hopefully there's some momentum. And I also just wanted everybody to understand what we really care about, and what we don't. I got a whole other message, about, it does take money. It takes people being very generous. People would be shocked, I think, to know. I'm always very careful. I mean, Leo and I have invested a lot over the years, and people will be surprised at our monthly giving even, and it takes people who have a heart, where you just begin to see things differently, and this is so goofy because Leon and I are at this is the best financially we've been since we've been married. And we've never given more than in our life than we do now. Yeah. So, and it's great.
We do as a family, we do fine financially too, and that's enabled us to, give a little more, purchase some extra things, to use, for ministry and stuff, for worship service and things like that.
So, I love it, man, and we appreciate you.
And we never fall short because I think, I feel and I hope that we're being faithful to, the use of what we're given.
I'm always excited.
But this kind of thing, I'm sorry, Johnny.
Oh, it's okay. No,
this kind of thing, it really doubles down on your thinking on this. That coupled with what Morey was talking about last week about his ex helping at the Samaritan house. Those sorts of things. That's been on my mind.
As for a thought to add on to Morey's point about his ex is that often you can't be interrupted if you don't step out of where you are.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly right.
If you're just stuck in your little rut and whatnot and your little world, there's no way that God, not necessarily no way, but it makes it really difficult for God to break in and say, hey, pay attention to me now.
Right. Like I said, the envelope's still on the table in there because I'm working from home. Right? So
still thinking
to get out of the house.
That's so good, though, and I'm glad to hear it. And I'm, I just really, I'm not saying I have a special word from God for all the. This is not what I mean by that. I just mean I really strongly felt that that's what we were supposed to do on Sunday.
Yeah. There's not a deadline for that, is there? I mean, does it have to be?
By next Sunday, it just disintegrates.
Thanos.
Just like that, it's gone.
Oh no.
No, man. No.
No.
It's we just want to get the ball rolling with this thing.
Definitely.
And see, I'm always completely excited when someone, like for example, I'll say back a few years ago, we had someone coming, visiting, being part of our church, and I knew they hadn't been a part of church in a very long time. I wasn't real sure where their heart was, but I knew that God was doing something in their heart the first time they actually gave out of their own money.
Yeah.
And it was like a buck,
Yeah.
$1.
Doesn't matter.
Well, and it's like well, that's what I'm saying. I was so rejoiced in that because that was a big thing to give anything.
Right.
They'd never given anything to anybody.
No, that's great.
And then I've seen growth in that person over the time they've been here. So it's just great to see that. It's just it is a part of discipleship. It's a part of spiritual growth. But it's not the first thing we're hitting people over the head with any Sunday, right?
And there's a point of faith behind it too. When I give my tithe and the whatever extra offerings, I am doing two kinds of faith there. I'm having faith that the church is going to steward the money well. Sure. And then more importantly, I'm going to have faith that God is behind that point, and if there are any needs, He'll meet them anyway.
Yeah.
Which is that they took a long time to get there. Became a Christian when I was 29. I'm 50 now, and somewhere in the middle there, it was finally where it started clicking, and then making it a habit and a good spiritual habit. It's not like anything It's not something I don't think about. I do think about it a lot, and I figure out where I'm at each year. I reassess things, and I give according to that. So about that time.
Oh, well, we've been yakking already.
I can't believe we've been yakking that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yakety yak.
But yeah, I
We
know
came
where
back.
you're coming from on that, Bob. That's
And it's a journey, man. It is a journey. It's a faith journey. All of that is always a faith journey. I told that story, and I've told you that story before. It was when we were running that time.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to run, Tracy?
I remember when we used to run.
Those were the days.
We should do that again.
We should do that again, man. But anyway,
I'd invite Bob to come with us, but it's kind of more
we
like
can
a
talk
walk.
with him. He'd be farther ahead.
It's like a walk for him.
You could just run around, you guys.
That'd be fun to see.
Now we go down the trail.
Oh, my
It's
goodness.
3 miles.
Yeah, totally happy to do
Oh
that.
my goodness! All I was gonna say is that from that point forward, I didn't really follow up that story very much, but God has been completely faithful. When it was that, what was it, $10, right? And now when it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars, He's been completely faithful.
So
to take
I have a
care of
follow-up question. Did you give $10 off of your 40?
Wait,
What?
what?
The original 40 that you were going to give from, or
Yeah.
did you just go? Did you give from that also, or just?
That was all I had. All I had was $40. Right. So
Right.
so the $10 was. I couldn't have come from any. What do you mean?
So when you got home,
You had 40. You
had
were going to
40.
take 10 of that, which would leave you 30, and give it.
Yes.
But
your
you
sister-in-law
got-
gave you 10.
Oh, I got what you're
So you
saying.
gave the 10 and had
That's
40 in your pocket.
hilarity.
No,
you know
but-
what? I don't remember.
You know what?
I haven't thought about that in so long. That's a great question.
So
I'll have to,
the way I
figure
see
one
that,
out.
though, I mean, it is more than
I may have
anything.
given 20. I just don't remember.
It's a heart issue, right? More than anything else. And whenever you're committed to that giving, it's just kind of a good reminder that it's okay. Go for it. Whatever your heart compels you to give, God's going to take care of you. I mean, we've seen that when we help other people out or whatever. When we give, whatever we do, we always have enough.
Yes.
Or
Boy.
even if we get behind, it always comes back around. So.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that purchase. We talked about that like a year ago, but that, we don't talk about that story. Anyhow, I was just going to say, God's been completely faithful. And also, here's another thing. It's a great way to wrap this up, too, is that we always say and share on this podcast, John 3:16. Well, interestingly enough, this conversation reflects the heart of God so much because it simply says, for God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whosoever would believe in Him would not perish, but have everlasting life. John 3:16. So God is a giving God, is the idea.
That's
He
true.
gives, man. But anyway, we want to do ministry. We want to reach people all around us and just keep growing step by step.
Yep.
And, it's awesome. I'm glad I'm on this journey with you guys.
Very.
We are going to wrap this thing up. Missing Morey tonight, missing Jake tonight, but hopefully we'll see them again really soon. Let's see, every Sunday we get together somewhere in the world and always on Facebook. I know, Facebook. Black Compass Church, Colorado. It's where a lot of people are. I mean, that's kind of why we're there. Compass Church, Colorado on Facebook. You're welcome to join us every Sunday at 10 a.m. or in person at Arkansas Elementary School here in Aurora, Colorado. And we would love to have you as our guest this Sunday. And you can discover more at compassdenver.com. All right, guys, final words.
Love you guys. Jake and Morey, sorry you guys aren't here. Hope everything turns out okay with whatever you're dealing with. And love everyone else out there. Sorry.
Likewise, and peace out. Had to do it.
Let's smile for the thumbnail. Grace and peace to you. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out.
I hope that's still running. I hope the tape didn't run out.